You know what I've noticed is that the older I get, the more introverted I become. I've always been kind of an introvert. I went out a bit. I had a couple friends that I would hang out with and we would go to the bars and stuff like that. But man, I spent a whole bunch of time playing video games. Like online gaming became a thing and I got really into that. And I started playing more because I had a job. I can afford more video games. I had high speed internet and it was something I really enjoyed to do. And then like a lot of my friends became friends that I played video games with online. As I got older, the online play became a little less. The outings with friends happened a little less, right? Because when you're in your mid 20s, like people have time then. When you start getting closer to 30, you hang out with people less. And I'm like totally fine with this because like I said, I've always been an introvert at heart. Like I am perfectly fine spending all my time by myself and I try my best to avoid social situations whenever possible. Even when I was younger, I would do that and I would like lock myself in my room with my video games or my computer and then that's what I would do because that's what I enjoyed doing. And now I'm older now and I'm in my late 30s, the social gatherings that you have with friends aren't the same. You don't have that open schedule and that flexibility that you do when you're young. Usually you have a family, which occupies a lot of your time. You focus on that and you stop hanging out with your friends as much. And then if you don't have a family, most of your friends at this age, in your mid to late 30s, do have families. So they don't have time for you. And if you do have a family, you don't have time for them. And then your time becomes so much more valuable and your time becomes so much more limited. And then you really start to pick and choose where you want to spend it. And I'm talking from a perspective of having a family, but I can also imagine that if I didn't have kids right now, before I had kids, right before I moved in with my wife, right before that, what I was doing would be pretty much the same thing I would be doing now, which was drinking beer, smoking weed, and playing video games. I don't imagine that would have changed much. And because of how my life is now, I can't do that every day, right? Occasionally, I'm allowed to have fun, maybe on a weekend that there's no plans to do anything with the wife and kids, but that's far and few in between. And the same goes for having enough time to go hang out with a friend. Also, I don't really have any friends locally. I work remotely, so I have like no real friends. And I try to avoid all social gatherings or being pulled into a social gathering unless it's really like necessary. Apart from hanging out with my wife and kids, which is something that I do often. Like if my wife tries to pair me up with one of her friends' husbands so that I can have a friend, like that drives me nuts. Like I'm at a point in my life where I don't care to have friends and it doesn't bother me as much as it might bother other people because of my introvertness. And I know that it may not seem like I'm an introvert. You probably don't see that because I feel comfortable talking to the camera. I know that I probably look outgoing and I know that you're probably like, this guy's not an introvert. Dude, I will do anything to avoid having to go to a get together, a barbecue, any kind of social gatherings. The most social thing that I do is go to jujitsu. And the most human interaction that I have with like another dude is my brother-in-law. And occasionally I play video games with some of my friends. But like I said, that's rare. And those are real life friends that I actually still know, like on Xbox or whatever. And it's weird because my wife is the complete opposite. She just has a huge circle of friends. She stays in touch with everyone. She enjoys that social closeness to people. Like she has friends from childhood that she talks to on a regular basis. She has friends that she lived with in Vegas who are like on the other side of the US now that she stays in touch with. She's got people from all over that she talks to from her entire life, from like birth to just recent friends that she's made, and she continues to make those relationships. Just the thought of it gives me like anxiety and it makes me feel like I could not do that. Like saying that out loud, and if I had to be like that, where it feels exhausting for me. I'm not someone who likes to nurture relationships, and in a way it's bad. Like I've had a lot of shitty people in my life, but I would say that I've had a lot of good people in my life that I don't talk to because of my introvertedness and because of the way that I am. I feel bad because I'm the type of person that'll get a text message and be like, I got to respond to them, that I don't feel like doing it right now. And then I never respond. And then it makes people who are friends or were friends of mine probably feel that I suck. And I do suck. And it also makes them feel like probably like, screw that guy. He doesn't want to answer my calls. I don't have the time. And that's what it comes down to. I would rather spend that time on doing things that I feel I enjoy doing more. And I really think that this personality of being able to be a hermit and not need engagement with the outside world, and being able to like sit in front of a computer and being able to sit in front of a screen for so long, that being something that I've done for so long has, I think, really helped with my success as a coder and as a YouTuber. Honestly, because that's pretty much what you do when you're a programmer or when you're a YouTuber. You sit at your computer and you edit videos, or you make videos, or you write code. Maybe like that was like a secret weapon for me when it came to like learning how to code and being able to focus on this stuff, because I know a lot of people who couldn't do this because they need social interaction. They need to be outside. They need to be moving all the time. They need to not be locked in a room by themselves. I have no problem being alone, and being alone actually grants me the ability to like be comfortable with myself, and being okay with being alone makes it to where it's easier for me to do things that would be harder for other people to do. I lean into that, and I've used my introvertedness to help me succeed in the things that I've done. And I think that being an introvert is not a problem. And I see so many people talk about not having friends and being an introvert and how they wish that they can be an extrovert. I'll tell you what, it's overrated. It's overrated. It's overrated. I see my wife always just in shambles, trying to maintain connections and remember who she needs to call and whose birthday is when, and like all that stuff. Like she has calendars and notebooks of details about her relationships with friends and things that she has to do to maintain those things. I don't want to do that. You know, I have a hard enough time organizing my life just for the things I'm trying to do. I couldn't imagine trying to stay in touch with so many people. But then I do feel a little bad that some relationships that maybe I could have kept nurtured for longer aren't really there anymore. But what can I say? Like, you know, friends call me and I don't call them back. And then I try to make sure I call the people that matter back. Not to say that the people I don't call back don't matter. It's just that I'm too busy with life to focus on things outside of my own life, because I've got so many things that I need to work on personally. I need to do a lot of self-reflecting. I need to focus on myself and make sure that I'm happy, because there's a lot of things I need to work on. Having some of those social interactions, things like that, aren't something at this point in time that I feel I really need. And honestly, the older I get, the less I want to have them. No, it's weird. And I know some people are like, relationships are the most important thing. Friendships are the most important thing. You don't want to die old and alone and by yourself. You should spend time with your friends and family as much as you can. And I agree with that. The only people I really like spending time with are my wife and kids, and like a couple other people. I wanted to make this video because I think it's okay. Like, I don't think there's a problem. I see people who have made videos like this. They pop up on my feed occasionally, and it's like, I have no friends. Like, I've watched a couple of them, and when they explain their situation, it's like, well, yeah, you're in your 30s. Like, what do you think? You're gonna have all your drinking buddies and you're gonna go out and party every day? Like, no, you're an adult. You go to work, you pay your bills, you wake up every day, and you just kind of do the same thing day in and day out. People come in and out of your life all the time. So if you don't maintain relationships or try to establish new ones at the current moment, that doesn't mean that you can't go and find good, healthy relationships at a later time in life. Maybe it does get a little bit harder, and it's definitely very hard when you're middle-aged like I am, almost 40, because everyone that's your age has shit to do and most people can't hang out. But I'm pretty sure that when I'm like 60 and my kids are out of school and I'm getting close to retirement and I'm starting to think about all that stuff, or hopefully by that time I'm already retired, I'll find somebody to have beers with on Sunday if that's what I want. Or if not, be 60 years old and I'll play video games or still be making YouTube videos by myself in my office. If that's what I want to do, then fine. You know, lean into the things that make you you. And if you're someone who is outgoing and enjoys talking to people, lean into that. Maybe you should be a salesperson, or maybe you should do a job that involves communicating with people and talking with people. I prefer to lean into my strengths and do the stuff that I feel I like to do, which is lock myself away in a room and work. My personality type allows me to do that without being uncomfortable. You know, if you're someone who is extremely introverted and has extreme social anxiety and you want to challenge yourself to go talk to people and you're trying to build that skill, do that if that's something that you want to improve on. But don't feel bad because you're an introvert, because some of us really like being like this. And I'm able to hold conversations and meet people. And even though I have social anxiety in the sense that I don't want to go, when I get there, I can manage having conversations. So I know I can do that stuff. I just don't want to. I like being alone with my thoughts, and I'm okay with being alone with my thoughts. I feel that people who are not okay with being alone and spending time with themselves are like that because they don't know themselves well enough to be able to spend time with themselves. And I don't know if it's because of psychedelic use that I've done in the past. I've spent a lot of time by myself, and I've spent a lot of time self-reflecting. And I really think that that's all because I'm an introvert. All right. With that said, yeah, I'm an introvert. And I hope if you are too, this video helped you. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.